Hello everyone, the Honest Collector here to give you the truth on the Jakks Pacific Sonic 3 Supersonic action figure. Now, this figure I've had for a really long time. This is actually my second one. I have one in box and one out regular right here. So, but I do want to go over the packaging because as you saw in the thumbnail, there is another figure. I don't have the packaging for it, but he is here. So I'm super excited to go over these two. So first I'm just gonna look at the packaging on Supersonic, and we'll go over him first, and then we'll go on to Super Shadow. So for the back, it says Supersonic is the ultimate life form for Sonic. Oh, ultimate form for Sonic. In this state, his power is unmatched, or is it? People said they already gave a spoiler. We already knew. And, you know, if you played the SA2 game, then you would already know. And also, it's not really a spoiler. It's just a figure. It's just a toy. It's not saying, like, but he is ultimately matched by Super Shadow. So, yeah, the other... the other figures in the wave down here look pretty cool. Knuckles looks a little weird, not gonna lie, but I do have the rest of the wave, so I will be going over that soon. Yeah, so this is what he looks like here, very similar to his position in base form. So yeah, let's well, I already cracked this one open, but let's get to it, which is him right here. And again, having this guy for a really long time, it's just as good as everything I've said about the first one. Maybe a little, not better, but I mean, maybe a little better, because this time they actually have even more detail and have even more little noticeable things on him, like all the glitter spots, which don't actually come off, thank God. They're just like there, which I don't really know how you do that, but they did it. I don't know if it's very noticeable, maybe there, but definitely like on the eyebrow and stuff like that. You can definitely see there. And just throughout this figure, gives it a little more of a shine to it. And I believe it's all throughout. It's on the legs, just ever so slightly, which I kind of want to get a third one of this guy. This guy's been like warming pegs in my Target. But I kind of want to get a third one just to repaint, add a little more some brown to make that yellow stand out. But dude, this guy looks awesome. The shoes are just as good since they are reused, and a lot of this is reused. Yeah, you know, it's going to be the same, which I don't really mind for a $15 figure. Now, something that this figure has is just an absolute amazing presence. Like, you just standing here and he already looks so cool, and the proportions are done extremely well and everything. I've sung so much praises about this figure in his base form with the blue. So this is just going to get another just glazing. I think I already talked about this in my my ranking for the best figures of 2024, but this guy's amazing. So that's pretty much it for the detail. The way the cream color pouch spot is done, I don't know why I couldn't just say torso. That little fur spot is done really well. It's super clean and not too messy on mine. And let's actually check. How about on the one in box? Again, it's done very clean. And that's just painted on, which is really nice to see. So, awesome figure. I love the red eyes. They kind of cut off a little bit, which is a problem with these things, but not as much as some other ones. So going into the articulation, his head actually moves up this time instead of just kind of slightly moving up. Those quills, there's no quills really stopping him. He has movement all around. You can give him all the attitude he really wants or needs. And dude, he just looks so cool like this. Just a simple one of these is just so cool. Like just moving that head to the side, being able to do that just adds so much more to this figure. So yeah, had really good movement. They did a great job, obviously up and down, side to side, you know, everything. And then with the arms, you are able to put them up all the way up as much as you want like that, which is great. And then you have butterfly joints, which work extremely well. They go back really nicely and forward really good as well. They don't even look visible there. So that's amazing. You get the bicep swivel here. You also get the swivel in the joint since the weight's engineered. And then you also get that above 90 clean single joint elbow, which is amazing. And then you get the wrist articulation, the standard hinge ratcheted, and then you have the swivel and the finger articulation, which is amazing to see on these figures and adds, again, so much more. Instead of having to, you know, because obviously they would not be able to give us like open hands, punching hands, you know, whatever hands, gripping hands. They just gave us articulated fingers, which I think works really well. And yeah, they did a great job. So all the sculpt on the socks is great. And yeah, I think I already went over that. Kicking leg up this far, which is great. And then that knee bends this much, and as you just saw, we have a thigh swivel here, or an upper thigh cut. With the way it's cut out, it's like barely noticeable. And then we have that standard hinge with the ankle going down this far, that high up. You can get it under that sock there, and then you have some really, really good pivot. So great figure, awesome. Oh, also the torso, what is wrong with me? It swivels like that, crunches the smallest bits, more just like a shift, and then goes back just a small bit, which the main factor is that it does twist. That's amazing, and you can get into some really good poses with this guy. So that's going to do it for the articulation, which is amazing in my opinion. Again, for this small scale, this price point, for only 15 bucks, unfortunately we're gonna see them go up. Oh man, it's really been stressing me out, bro. These prices on freaking toys, guys. These are toys. That's for another video. That's not even getting political, because that's just how things are. I got these 2 Ninja Turtle figures. I got this one in Michelangelo, and it's like almost $80, dude. Anyway, but so far, $15 for this. It's great at its price point. But yeah, Jakks Pacific is mainly operating in China, so we're definitely going to see it, these prices go up. So we won't be staying with the $15 price point for long. Woohoo. But yeah, so that's all the articulation. Let's get into probably some of my favorite parts, the size comparisons. And look at him next to Super Shadow. Gosh, this looks amazing. Can't wait to pose these two near the end, but here's how he stands next to him. Here's how he stands next to the Light Up Supersonic and the Light Up Super Shadow here, which, again, they're basically the same, just different articulation points. But here's how they look compared to this one with all the working joints and everything like that. Here's how Supersonic stands next to my Base Sonic and Base Shadow from the first wave. Here he stands next to the Sonic Prime Grim Sonic and the Pirate Rouge from the Sonic Prime line. Here he stands next to Knuckles from the same wave and Tails from the same wave as well. And I'm also gonna get my movie Tails out here, since again it's basically the same from like neck to toe. So here he is next to Supersonic there, which, gosh, this mask is big. And I always love to do this with these guys. Here's how he stands next to the Mario movie figures. And just because I have him handy right now, here he is next to the here they are next to the Super Shadow. And here's how he stands next to the Ivo Robotnik from the first wave and the Rusty Rose from the Sonic Prime line. And here's how he stands next to the 4-inch Classic Metal Sonic. And I already showed what he looks like next to the Sonic 3 figure, but last but not least, here he stands next to Sonic from Sonic 3. Alright, so about the Super Shadow figure. I could say, yeah, he's not still as light, as a bright white as he was in the movie. But thank God he's not that weird piss yellow that he was in his 4-inch counterpart. So here we have a actual accurate looking Super Shadow here, with the only difference really just being the separation of the eyes and some hyper realistic detail. This guy looks amazing. It's quite literally just the base form Shadow, specifically from Wave 1, because they have the same mouth, where in Wave 2 it's a little different. So if I were to put Shadow in the same pose, it is quite literally the same. There's nothing different about it. There's no difference in the sculpt or anything like that, and I do not care, because the paint, or not the paint, but it's the mold they used, the same mold but a different color. And then the red paint, I mean, it's gonna look different against black, so Might have had to use a different paint, who really knows, but it came out pretty good on Super Shadow here. No real mess ups that I mean, obviously zooming in, there's some crevices, but not really, actually. It looks pretty good, and I love that, man. The only thing is, torso is a little wobbly. He's a little bit wobbly here, so he's permanently leaning back like that. So yeah, I mean, it actually has not affected any of my posing segments of anything. He still twists and stays there. He's not like falling down constantly, and he stands pretty well. Like, it's super easy to just stand him up, even in posing and all that stuff. The legs now are so much easier to move than the other one, which this guy not only had really stiff legs, but after I broke them in, I actually had to fill in with sticky tack because I'm using this guy for my Sonic movie that I'm making on J Motion Pictures. Go subscribe to that channel if you want to see some killer stop motion. No, but yeah, I'm using this guy for my Sonic movie, and he's falling all over the place. I'm in the middle of filming a fight scene in Shibuya, so yeah, it's pretty bad. So, well, not the figure, you know, the legs and stuff. So I had to fill in with some sticky tack because I didn't have any joint lock or anything like that for to squeeze in, because last time I paid for something that was like overseas and stuff, it just didn't come in off of, you know, all those sites. So that's unfortunate. So this is what I had to work with. But yeah, anyway, back to this guy. He is super bright, and I love how his ultimate form or super form is getting him out of that darkness. You know, it's very poetic, and it looks so cool. Even the paint on the side here is done really well. Really no complaints. You knew exactly what you were getting into. Getting the Super Shadow is the exact same as this one, just different color. So yeah, there's not much to go over except, I guess, the articulation. So all the articulation is the same from the regular Shadow, but I'll go over it really quickly. So obviously the head moves all the way around, and every way you want, and then the arms go all the way up. You have those really good butterfly joints, and then you have the bicep swivel. It's very similar to Sonic. You have the elbow joint, and then you have the wrist hinge, and then swivel, open and closed articulated fingers. I showed off that twist before. It can technically crunch in like that a little more than Sonic, and crunch back to where you can see a little bit of a gap there, but not really mattering. And then his legs kick up like that, and then he has that thigh swivel there, that upper thigh cut. He has that knee, single jointed knee, which spends in really good, more than 90, which is great. Let me fix that leg. There we go. Then he has really good ankle articulation, which I'm just blown away by this. It's amazing. He goes down, up, and then side to side pivot. So that's great. No swivel at the boot, which I kind of think would actually help in some poses that I've done, but it's not really a downer that it's not there. And that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, his splits, how's that looking? Almost all the way. Almost all the way. I know Sonic's can go all the way, which I feel like he's the one really doing these crazy open leg poses, because I know the base form can. So there we go. So yeah, those are the splits on those guys. Pretty cool. And yeah, that's all the articulation for this figure. Let's stand him up next to some others. Okay, so here he stands next to base Sonic and base Shadow. And then I'm just gonna not cut, and I'm just gonna put Knuckles here, because there's how he stands next to Knuckles there. And then 4-inch classic metal Sonic. Then the figures from I already showed the figures from the Mario movie. Let's show him next to Rouge, Pirate Rouge. It's the only one I got. That's the only one in 5-inch form. So there she is. Then next to Grim Sonic from Sonic Prime. Gosh, this figure did not hold up the best, especially with these new ones coming out. But hey, this figure definitely is just a step in the staircase to get to a higher level, and that is these ones. So here he is next to him. Here he is next to the 4-inch Omega, which I don't know if this figure is rare. I actually don't know, but all I know is that I know someone was looking for him that I was talking to. And yeah, so here he stands next to him. Pretty cool. And then Rusty Rose. There you go. That's pretty cool. I have really big plans for Shadow, that do involve some metal Sonic stuff. So this is definitely useful to see, and I'll just say that, and that's it. But yeah, and then, you know, here's how he stands actually next to the 4-inch figures. I didn't really think you need to see this, but the 4-inch movie figures here. So yeah, no, there's no hope of fitting him in the scale. So yeah, and then Ivo from the first wave, which again, if you have the regular Shadow, they're just the same height. Not in scale at all. I think, if anything, either the 4-inch figures would be more in scale. Let's see, the 2.5-inch. Kinda, yeah. Kinda like this. But that's neither here nor there. Here's how he stands next to that, and I think I just showed him already, but damn. Here's how he stands next to the base form Sonic from the first wave. I completely forgot, but here's how he stands next to the Sonic Prime Shadow, which I think is the best video game Shadow we're gonna get. And yes, that's including that deluxe edition one, because gosh, that one just looks pretty bad. But here he is next to him in movie Tails. Okay, that's wonderful. So here's how he stands next to those two. And then if you really wanted to see, I'll do it for that one person named Aiden. Here's next to the Chow mascot Tails. Also, here's Supersonic next to the Shadow Prime. There, that is. So if you don't have the base form Shadow with the teeth gritting or just closed mouth, but you have this one, here's how they stand next to each other. So you could technically, I guess, substitute that, this for that. So there you go. And that's all. I really wanted to get him into that Generations pose, or not even the Generations pose, the SA2 pose where they're both jumping in the sky, the one that they recreated in Sonic 3. Gosh, I wanted to get him in that pose so bad, but my stands broke. This is the condition that they're in, to where they're just a floppy mess, so with like the lightest weight. So yeah, as you can see in the back there. So the only thing I could do is get them in that SA2 pose that's on the cover screen, unfortunately. But I think this still actually looks really cool, and I love these figures so much, and I think that they have so much presence to them, like just of coolness, that it really works. Like, I think this still looks awesome. And these two are amazing figures. I already loved the base forms. I knew I was going to love the super forms, and I really do. If you are even thinking about getting these figures, get them. Sonic is, at least, I live in Florida, so these are pegging, or warming the pegs, at my Target. So maybe they are for you too. I don't know. Who knows? But you should definitely get them, because these things are really cool. If you like the base forms, and yeah, you basically know what you're getting into. And this is just awesome to have. Essentially, could you recreate every pose with the base form figures? Yeah. Will they look as cool when they're not in their super form? Probably not. And that's the thing here. So yeah, these figures are awesome if you're thinking about getting them, and you know, they're not cheap, but compared to other stuff, you know, they're on the cheap side. So pick them up if you see them, and you'll definitely have fun. You won't be disappointed. I know that for sure. I've sung so many praises about these figures for so long, and I'm gonna continue to if they keep doing good. So yeah, definitely fun. And these are more on the toy side anyway, so like the kid toy side anyway. So just have fun, you know what I mean? No need to overanalyze everything. Is the paint deco photo real? Is none of that. It's just high quality toy fun. If you're a kid, you're gonna love them. If you're an adult who likes being reminded of being a kid when it comes to Sonic the Hedgehog, then you're gonna love them. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new, please give this video a like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you can know the truth on the next figure. Thank you guys so much for watching again. Spread peace, love, and be greater together. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.